I like how they have normal names like Irene and Layla and Jessica and Lilian, and then the fire one is Bludja, as if Comtois thinks it's a normal name. It's like, oh yeah, people just walking around on the street with the name Bludja. Am I missing something? Is that actually someone's, a lot of people named Bludja nowadays? Anyway, we're here to take a look at Irene. I wish I could say that I have this on any of my accounts. We did not get any of these units on any of the accounts. There's 5 different accounts, and also my wife has 2 accounts, so 7 accounts. No one got any of these units. So, that's pretty typical for new units, especially with the rate-up banners, because I don't miss the Summoner's War. Anyway, Irene is kind of similar to the Scroll Trap from Jogun with the 3rd skill, Bind Demon Bag. The difference is this will eat away at the HP, so that's pretty cool, but it is the 3rd skill where he has the 2nd skill. Both Art Masters have the 2nd skill of that. The Mischievous Trap, this is the one that I think people are kind of disappointed in, which we'll take a look at in a second. So this is a Reflect Harmful Effect as a new debuff. And then we have the Glancing Hit on skill 1. And we have the Accuracy, as if this was actually a leader skill that worked. I don't think people really care too much about Accuracy for a leader skill. Starting the video off strong with C1 versus C1 gameplay. Nice. So they just pivoted into turn 2 on the left-hand side. Right-hand side is hoping that, oh my goodness. Right-hand side is hoping that Faye will ignore defense even though they have no attack power buff. It's a tall ask. Okay, Demon Bag onto Faye. It's going to slowly eat away at her HP. They got the attack power buff on the wrong side of the battlefield. So let's see. 3, 2, and she is now that decreased the turns on the Demon Bag. So was not able to kill with the Fae though. And they just concede. C3 versus C3, it's a little bit better now. I'm surprised to see her in a turn 1 team, because I feel like she would be just more effective as a turn 2 bruiser, maybe with Leo and Ragdoll, and we'd have to have Ragdoll there, and Molong as well. Even though I know she's similar to Jogun, but I consider Jogun a turn 1 unit and her more of a turn 2 version of him. Not bad though, they're getting some HP down on the Juno. However, goodbye, Shangpeng. I don't know. I don't know how they're gonna. Honestly, it's still anyone's game. Depends on who gets extra turns. And Juno's now going to heal herself back up to full. Welcome back, Shangpeng. Leo is down. Okay. I like the. Well, this one's not necessarily. It's a Gladiatrix. I like the Fire Gladiatrix and Fire Cassandra. Interesting unit. Actually, more effective than I initially thought it was going to be. Because it's similar to Theomars, just a better version for RTA, in my personal opinion. So we're going to eat away at some more of the health from. Because of that right there, the cleanse. So eat away at some of the health from the Juno, but first pick Miles into an early Leo and Riley. So they're going for definitely just I expected a Molong pick as well. So double immunity. Riley gets banned. They could have just left they did leave the Leo in there. They picked 2 fires to counter it, but they could have even picked some ignore defense fire threats, which would have been nice against the 2 wind units on the battlefield, as well as the Artemiel. Like, for example, we have a new 2A Bulldozer. They could have picked one of those. They could have picked Lexi, since the Riley can't really get around. We're not even supposed to be talking about. We're supposed to be talking about the new unit here, the new Devil Maiden. But we also did a Fire Ezio, 0 speed fire. Oh my god, 0 speed fire Ezio. So they win, but it really wasn't about the Devil Maiden. Early Wusa pick, C3. 2 things that are just going to eat away at the opponent's HP. Both of them get left on the battlefield. Let's see, Hathor gets banned. Okay. And Daomon's gonna possibly go down pretty fast, I would imagine. Let's see. Well, I guess she doesn't go down fast. Everything is good. The power of Hey Gang. Sometimes he is just an amazing unit. I feel like there's something to be said for early picking Hey Gang when you know your opponent's going for a control team and having them kind of try to figure out how to play around it if they don't want to ban it. This is going to be rough, though. Can they come back from this? She's going to have to do a lot of work here. Let's see. Okay, so the new debuff. But they could just ignore it, which is what they do. So 1 unit down. If you think about it, she's kind of like a Mo Long. That this skill 2 is not as strong as Mo Long, in my opinion. But she's kind of like a Mo Long. She'll take something out of the battlefield and also do pure damage to it. So I think she's a solid enough unit. I would rather have her than the... possibly some of the other ones. Just the fact that you can take something off the battlefield and do half HP pure damage to it at the same time. In my opinion, pretty strong. Let's see. Just trying to keep things CC'd as much as possible. Really? I thought they were going to go the other way with that, but... either way, whatever. They won regardless of who they targeted. So they picked the Shizuka and the counter to Shizuka. Well, one of the counters to Shizuka still does not get punished by Bulwark. Bulwark would have been so strong against the team on the right-hand side because there was a lot of buffs. So let's see. Okay, who do they trap? Demon Bag on Leica. So Leica no longer on the battlefield. I kind of felt like they might have gone for the Diana though. Since they have 3 water units there and Diana can just go crazy. I mean, Diana can steal matches. So that's why I didn't think they were going to go for the Leica. Because look how easy it was to take care of that Leica. Well, especially if his HP is half down. That just makes it even easier. Man, the Shizuka, that's a pretty fun combination. Shizuka with that reflect harmful effects. Not bad. Also, Shizuka with the monkey is nothing new. People have been using that for a bit now. But, yeah, Shizuka AoE invincibility. You know who else does AoE invincibility? Is Chloe, which, another unit that we don't give enough credit to. Chloe's a solid unit. I use her sometimes on the Europe server account. I don't know. I think we might have shown in a video this week using her on the Europe server account. Yep, that's how I thought that was going to go much earlier. So, unfortunately, there's not a lot of ways to heal up that Devil Maiden right now. They're just trying to make sure she doesn't die as much as possible, which is the best that they can do. Until Diana gets a turn. And, okay, Monkey did decent enough damage to Diana. There we go. That should be enough. But you never know. Riley can do Riley things, even if she doesn't. I think it's game regardless. I know, always play it out, though. Always play it out to see what happens. Riley's not gonna come up with a win here. She's more frustrating than anything else. Double on Miyuji and Hanam the Dark Beast Hunter. So they're going for an ignored defense, annoying, frustrating. Ganymede's just gonna... this is gonna be a Ganymede spotlight. Well, it is kind of a Ganymede spotlight, but not in the way that was initially expected. Yeah, Hanam's going down pretty fast. So the interesting thing with Hana, I know you guys might be like, what are they picking the Dark Beast under there? The two Onryujis can revive him with full HP, so he can do his ignore defense over and over and over again. So this is what we're going to see here. So that is the thing, people use that. It's not that shocking. Some of you have already experienced it, so you're not surprised in the least. But let's see, no defense break because glancing. Okay, seal magic. Yeah, that's skill 2. People are just not bothering using it half the time. They're just like, no, I'll take the skill. I'll take the skill 1. So Concho's probably gonna be like, maybe we change something. Skill 2 with threat state though, with the Demon Maiden, or sorry, Devil Maiden, same thing basically. The threat state on there could be nice. I think that would be the easiest way to buff it in the future. Okay, so leaving the Artemiel and the Douglas in there. Bans out the Kinky. Ethna's gonna get destroyed in a second though. Ethna's not gonna get destroyed in a second though. Okay. AoE now she gets destroyed. Yeah, that's what I expected to happen sooner. I suppose I shouldn't have just expected them to go with skill 2 immediately. So let's see. Demon Bag on. I thought they might have gone for Rakuni actually. So they didn't have to deal with the frustration that is Rakuni. I don't really think we're seeing a whole lot of that skill 2. But that seems to be the general consensus from the community is, man, the skill 2 is not... Like, you just ignore it for the most part. Like, if you put it on one of your allies, unless there's a threat state or something, then... Or, like, they need to hit that. Or it's an AoE, like, for example, we saw with Shizuka earlier. That's a different story. And now she's dead. So, we'll see if this is a... We'll see how much Miles Valen procs. Just only needed the 1. This is going to be a Ragdoll Leo. Yep. Not a lot of... I would have picked a second sustain on that Ragdoll Leo side. Usually you see Ragdoll Leo with a third bruiser and 2 sustains. This way they can't just ban out one of the sustains. Just generally speaking. Alright, get some CC. I feel like people are going to start trapping the Rakuni more often after this, though. I think the more time progresses, the more we're going to see... the more we're going to see Rakuni traps. People are like, yeah, I just decided I don't want to deal with this guy. The Miles isn't really an issue, though, right now. Miles is not doing a whole lot of damage. I would personally, I would go for Praha first. So, or whoever you get the... Or Rakuni. And just leave Miles. Because he's not doing a lot of damage. He is the damage dealer. But with the Leo on the battlefield, his speed is nerfed so much that it really doesn't matter. I would go for Praha. But just personal preference. Some nasty LD units being picked. And the nasty non-LD unit of Oliver gets banned. That's how you know. That's how you know he's a menace. That's a nice trap. That Xiao is so frustrating to deal with sometimes. I would have done the same exact thing. Okay, so they actually did use the skill 2 there. And suppress, but not like it really even mattered. She didn't have the... She was just going to use skill 1 anyway. By the time the suppression is off, is when she has her skill 3. So let's see, do they get a Valen proc? They do not get a Valen proc. Some stunts. I'm glad people are starting to actually appreciate the Light Chimera. He did change a little bit, but he didn't change that much. He was just... I was expecting them to go for the skill 1 on the demon. Not to actually kill the demon just yet, but just to cycle on the demon instead of not critting and cycling. But Chimera just gives you some flexibility in the draft. You can go control, you can go cleave, and your opponent can't just pick one unit to counter that. I mean, they could still just... I mean, they could pick a Josephine and a Leo, though, which kind of counters one way or the other. Oh, we're going to see a Gani Hathor team. This actually makes sense with the Gani Hathor, though, because she is a water unit that does pure damage, kind of like how we see Wusa with Gani Hathor teams and Miles with Gani Hathor teams, because people like to counter Gani Hathor with fire threats, like Fire Monkey, like Rakuni, so, Juno, Antares also. So that is a unit that's decent. It seems like it makes sense there. It's a decent enough unit with Gani Hathor teams. Let's see how much we actually see of the skill 2. All right. You knew that was going to hit Ganymede regardless. So they were obviously going for Ganymede either way. And the reset cooldown on Shizuka. So going for the bind over there. Did they even have the skills on that unit though? And they get the reflect debuff now on everything with Shizuka. I think it's kind of interesting. This is the first time we're really seeing. I think this is the first time in this video that we're really seeing a lot happening with the skill 2, and then Shizuka putting it on everyone. So, or we saw it in another match earlier, but we haven't really been seeing a lot with that. So I'm curious if people just find more creative ways to... And the reset cooldowns. Does that kill? They have to go for it, otherwise they're going to take ignore defense damage. So I'm wondering if people will find more creative ways to use that, the skill 2, or if Comtois is just going to like put threat state on it or something like that. I mean, people could always do the ignore defense damage. Yep. But people could always use her with the Fire Paladin, but it is a kind of gimmicky combination of doing that. So. And gets the stun on Leo. Okay. That skill 3 is effective enough. I think it's just, if the skill 2 was changed, that'd make it much better. But the skill 3 does work. I do like the skill 3. I like the Demon Bag. It takes something out of the battlefield, and then also it, and then you can reset because it has a long cooldown. But for me, I just look at it like, okay, it's a mixture between Jogun's skill 2, Scroll Trap, and Mo Long's Reckless Assault, except it doesn't do damage to her. So I think it's a solid enough skill 3. Skill 2 could use some work, but I wouldn't mind getting one of these myself. I can't play with it because I don't have it. But anyway, that's it for this one. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I will see you as always in the next one.